Hi, everybody. My name is Austin. I work for Homeowners Financial Group, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak to you guys today a little about leading through COVID. So, why would you even care to listen to me? Well, I don't know, but here's what I got. So, I have been in the mortgage industry for over 18 years. I have been working since the age of 13. I'm 40 now, so got a little bit of history there. I went from an assistant into running a small team in 2006. And by 2010, I was an operations manager, vice president for Bank of America. I ran a team of 13, managed it through the actual crisis for the 2007 and 2008 recession. I then went out on my own from an originator in 2012. And by 2013, I was in the top 200 originators in the country. So this isn't about accolades. This is about going through it and figuring out who is on your team and how do we lead people. First and foremost, you got to define your team, right? And I think that sometimes we forget that leadership is not just for your coworker next to you. Leadership is for every single person that you encounter every single day. You lead the barista when you get your coffee. You lead your coworkers, certainly. You lead your clients. You lead your vendors. You lead every single person that you talk to, that you connect with, because leadership is not flatline, and it should never, ever be just about the title. Leadership is about influence. Sales is about influence. It's about getting people to essentially do what you want, right? You want them to use your product and service. You want them to get that loan through underwriting. You want them to understand the financial plan. You want them to call you back, right? So when we talk about leadership, I really want you to think of it a little bit bigger. I want you to think about it broader in those aspects. There's a book called 360-Degree Leadership by John Maxwell, which I think is fabulous. Now, John Maxwell writes a lot of leadership books. He is literally an old white dude. So there are some times that you're like, oh, you wanted to marry someone that vacuums because you don't like to vacuum. Like, okay. But, so there's a little bit of that in there, but his lessons remain true. I want you to think of it as spokes on a wheel. You may be that center hub, and your entire life is a wheel. It's spoked out. You have to lead the people, not just below you, but the people that are above you too, right? So if you're in a lateral organization that you have created or that you associate with through your business, right? Some of you work with chambers of commerce. Some of you work with different corporations, right? There's different levels that you have to go to. And I want to make sure that every single thing you do is going through to your vision of how you want to be and how you want to run your business. Tangent. I'm in my office. And on the wall of my office and every single person in my team is our mission. It's all signed by them. We all have buy-in. We have determined this together. Our mission is to advocate for our clients and helping them achieve the goal of responsible homeownership by serving with respect, diligence, and gratitude. So every single thing that we do, the way that you answer that email, the way you pick up that phone call, the way that you write out that pre-approval, the way you write out your functionality, has to go back to this. This is how you lead people. You go back to it. Am I being respectful? Am I doing the right due diligence on this? Am I serving with gratitude? It is always an honor to be able to lead people and lead together. And it's an honor for me to take the time and for you guys to take the time and listen to this today. So let's talk about how you actually do it. Let's get a little bit more tactical. So when you think about an organization, right, we have our vision. That's great, Austin. Sure, you're going to serve with respect. How do you do that, right? We need to make sure that in addition to the vision, we have metrics. So every single one of my team members has 3 different job duties, just 3. There are 3 things that they do. Mine are lead the team, make it rain, deepen relationships. Heather's, my admin, is marketing events, Austin wrangling, and customer service follow-up. That is what she does. So her marketing events, right? She's helping doing the social media posts. She's putting together videos, things of that nature. The customer service side, like, oh, I got this statement in the mail, da, da, da. She does that follow-up. And then she also does Austin wrangling. So like, my calendar is printed by her in the morning, and she'll nudge me like, hey, you need to move on from this. You got something else going on. Those are her 3 job duties. She does it according to the mission. She's never disrespectful for anyone. She makes sure that there's the right procedures, the right diligence in place, and she's super stoked to help make it happen, right? But those are her 3 job duties. And then with therein are the metrics. The metrics are, we meet once a week about marketing on Mondays, right? We have to go through X amount of bullet points. That's how it's done. We can tell that it's done if we're looking ahead and behind on our calendar. True story. This is our Lampson team marketing binder. This is what we do every single Monday, right? We go through the calendar, we go through our co-marketing check-in, we go for budgets, ads, and then training, because I do a training every single week. And we've got the tabs where we follow up on the data every single Monday. That is the metric. We know we are achieving her goal and we are achieving her duty according to the metrics that we make. It's also really important to make sure that you have a meeting. You don't need to meet about the meeting. You just need to make your meetings consistent and efficient. So, other binder, Lampson Team Daily Meeting Binder. First thing on the binder that we go through once a month is the calendar, right? What are we going to do? Who has time off? What do we need to plan for holidays, right? How does that look? The next thing that we have in here is our Wheel of Life. So I can follow with Wheel of Life, but getting in the concept of spokes in the wheel, right? There's certain aspects of our life, our spirituality, our health, our fitness, our friends, our family, our work, and our money. And then we have goals and that we do and tactics that we want to achieve it. For example, here is one for Katie. For friends, she wants to do weekly calls and texts and check in, and she wants to spend monthly time with her friends. So we'll check in on that. How's that going? So in our daily team meeting, we're looking ahead on the calendar. We're looking to our personal goals. And then we also have the same single format. It's the same format every single day, right? We go over what our leads are, right? Are we tracking? What are our metrics there? We go over what's got to happen today. Who's got a new deal in process? Where we need to be for pre-approvals. There's only 3 things per person that we're focusing on, and they also write thank you notes. So our daily meeting is consistent at the same time every single day. We go over the same things every single time, and then we have it to reference back. Hey, you said 2 days ago you were going to do X, Y, and Z. I didn't see that. Our rule is that it can follow through, but it has to be done by the 3rd day no matter what. We also have something called the no surprise rule, and that's a huge thing in leadership. The no surprise rule essentially says, if I tell you something or you tell me something, like Brittany can say, Austin, I have this refinance I need to review with you. Well, I can ask her, but like, by when? Who's it about? What do I need to prepare for, right? Because if we're giving instructions from an open-ended way, we're not defining the who, what, where, when, why, how, and when. Yes, you do when twice, right? When's it going to be done? Okay, when's it going to be done, right? That's your bookend from it. Then we're not going to be able to accomplish it. So the no surprise rule says, hey, I know you told me something, but I have a question immediately. You can always counter. Give people the power to counter you. Don't let them be afraid, because that's leadership. That's them leading in their job role. That's you leading them to higher levels of success. Another thing that's super important that we do in leadership is closing the loop. Email, call, email. Close the loop, right? So if I'm like, Brittany's like, hey, I got to review this refinance with you. I'm like, sweet, here's the review. Now what? How are we closing the loop with the client? So if you email someone, follow up with a call. If you call them, follow up with an email. Confirm the information over and over again. Because leadership, again, it's influence, right? You're getting people to do what you want, right? What your client wants, what the vendor wants, what it is. We're working together to achieve a goal, something that we want and desire together. So if you're not closing the loop, how do you know that it's done, right? So we talked about, from an organization perspective, you have to make sure you have your vision. You need to have the duties and metrics behind it. You need to make sure that you're meeting accordingly to achieve those steps in the process. There should be consistent, standardized meetings. I am a squirrel, like all over the place. We want to make sure that there's no surprises in the instruction or in the receipt, right? This is how you lead people. You give them a path, and that you're closing the loop on communication. So the last thing I want to talk about is attitude. Dude, it's been brutal. Let me tell you, like April One day we had 19 price changes and literally over 5 guideline changes. Different investors closing down shop. Hey, I know we promised we'd buy this loan from you, but that's not a thing. Like it was brutal, right? I'm tired. We have a lot of stuff going on. I got to figure out reopening the offices for COVID. I got people that are having personal problems in their lives. I got clients that are all over the place. I got people that don't understand the process. I mean, I got underwriters forgetting conditions and then they're there last minute. It's brutal. So how do you maintain a positive attitude? Well, I know that the world that I'm in, I have created. I'm not talking about what may be going on super outside there, but I am in this chair. This office is decorated because of the way I created. This team is here because of what I created. I know my vision. So every single day, I'm grateful for that. I am grateful that I may have messed up yesterday so I can be a better person today. I am grateful for the amount of work that's on my plate. I am grateful for the opportunities, for the setbacks and everything in between. I am super grateful. And if you come at every single angle that it is an opportunity for you for growth in your life, in your business, in your leadership, then that is amazing, right? Easier said than done. So how do we get tactical on it? Two different things that I do at least. Visuals. So I have vision boards on the side, right? Telling me what I want to do, elevate the experience, best year ever. Yes, she can. Professional services, appetite for growth, amazing, loves, passion and effort for days. I look to the vision. I keep thank you notes here. I keep thank you notes there. I keep little trinkets around my desk. There's a cute little raccoon. You may or might not know. I got in a fight with a raccoon. It had my dog. I punched it. It bit me. You can't see the scar as much anymore, right? I had to fight rabies. It was a whole thing. So I keep that on my desk as my reminder to fight for what I believe in. It's really important to have sounds. Maybe you got a jam, man, right? Like maybe you're about to make your sales calls and you're like, I'm gonna listen to Jay-Z Dirt Off My Shoulder. Maybe you need to turn it off on the way home so you can be present for your family. So great. What song are you listening to? I like Patience by the Lumineers. It's a minute and a half and it just kind of namastes me out. But if I know that in the middle of the day, I don't have 7 minutes to listen to a song. So I have a bell. This is a bell I got at a Buddhist temple in Japan when we were there a couple of years ago. And I want to go back to Japan, but it's a nice sound reminder to just shift your mindset, shift your attitude, go back to that vision, go back to that gratitude and that grace. And that's how you're going to help people further. Other things I think it's really important to remember is that you can punt. I'm not saying stick your head in the sand. I am not saying ignore things. Eat your frogs first, get all those hard decisions, those hard conversations out of the way earliest you can in the morning, right? But you can punt. You're like, hey, I am not in the right space to answer that email. It might just go, right? Punt. Move it down the line. Give yourself the grace. I love football. You got to think about punting, right? So they go back and forth. When you punt, it says, gosh, I'm not in a position that I feel that I can go forward towards the goal right now, that I can accurately respond to that I can accurately calculate that I can work on this project, right? I need to shift the parameter, right? You punt when you're in office. Typically it's the fourth down, right? Because you have 4 downs to make the 10 yards or wherever you're at that time frame. And then you punt and then the other people get it. It changes the field position. Literally, you kick it and then that's where you go to. It changes who is on the field, right? You go into defense instead of offense. It changes all those different things. So don't be afraid to punt. You do not have to do anything except your best. You have to always do your best. But that's all you really have to do. Okay? Are there phrases that you can do, right? So when we're talking about leadership and leading your team through COVID, it's really the same as every other day. Change will always happen. Something will be good or bad that you least expected. I reckon that even if you're in love with your life, it probably doesn't look like what you thought it was, right? So by knowing your vision, you can move towards that. By knowing the metrics, you can move towards that. You can lead every single person that you come in contact with to a higher level. Be that shining light for them. show them positive, be reinforcing, ask the questions, go a little bit deeper. Leadership truly is 360. Thank you so much for taking the time. If there's any follow-up I can do to help, by all means, please let me know. I am grateful. Have a great day. Bye.